And good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 6-Minute Daily. That's right. This part of the show is the sound check. Can you hear me? And of course, the shout outs, which is, saying hi to each and every one of you. We've got a great show planned for you today. We've got, 7 videos dropped in the last 48 hours. So you should be out there checking the videos if you haven't already. There's a lot of information, education, and entertainment out there. And we've got you, like Weatherman. Good morning, Weatherman. We've got Caledon 910, the favorite radio station. Battle Bunny is out there, along with Just a Dutchie. Great to see you. And of course, Juliet checking in from across the pond. Wow. We've got Snortopupus Cuber. Hey, what's up, Snort? Good to see you. And let's see, who else rolled through the door? So many more. Man, what a great morning. Crazy White Boy. Good morning, Crazy White Boy. Ms. Pick Cafe, of course. She does all kinds of things. Discord, the duties of the wrench. She's everywhere and does everything, and I thank her very muchly. Let's see, who else popped through the door? We got Magnify. What's going on, Tom? Dr. Jill is everywhere, also on both sites, as a matter of fact. And we got an abbreviated intro today. I don't know what's going on with all the bells and whistles. I might need to remove some of the clips, videos, and images that I have. Maybe that'll help. Let's see. Who else is hanging out there? We got a lot of you today. Just a ton. O.C. Dobbins, good morning, my friend, from the belly of the beast. I hope all is well. Tom over on the red side of the equation. Let's see. We've got, wow. I'm always amazed, all the people that are here. Nice and early, like Georgia Peach. Good morning, Georgia Peach. I hope everything's going well. Low Spec Linux Gaming pops in over on the green machine. Istaphobos, hey, still waiting for South Park to be funny, though. Well, they brought some comedy back. Whether or not you find it funny is, well, a different thing entirely for sure. But I think it's a decent swing at, getting us back to where we used to be. Cynthia Carter's here. Good morning, dear. And happy hump day. That's right. It is Wednesday. Lee Kindler's out there. Good to see you, my friend. Tonight, we've got the Pro Show. Don't miss it. Should be a hoot and a half. Maravita, you will never know anything about my home. We got Andy Masterson out there. Good to see you, buddy. The hardest working man, most talented man on the internet, just in case you were wondering. 26 seconds to the show. The lovely Penny. Yeah, dropped a video this morning. Penny was there nice and early. I love it when we get several hundred people out there to take a look at the thing. We got Born in Boston. Good morning. Gotta love that. Boston area. Got Carl Singh out there, also a chatter in the comments. By the way, the comments are important. You are important. Your thumbs up is very important. Morgan King, what's up, buddy? I hope you're doing well. Let's get started. Because 6 minutes starts now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are and whenever you're watching. Thanks for checking out the 6-Minute Daily. We have a lot to talk about, not a lot of time to do it in, and that's the unfortunate part of the 6-Minute Daily. We will have some bonus time, and we'll get to those things, and we've got a story we want to wade into a little bit related to Superman, but Jerry Bruckheimer is going to be bringing Johnny Depp back. There's all kinds of interviews out there, all based on one interview from Entertainment Weekly. I dropped a video on this late yesterday afternoon. Not a lot of you got a chance to check it out, obviously, but you can go and check out the depth of this story for Depp and be informed. But in a summary, there's a possibility Johnny Depp will return. He'll hop back on board of the Pirates of the Caribbean series, giving us a Pirates that we want, not one that we don't need, that is the, gynocentric brand they were trying to force down our throat. Only Murders in the Building Season 5 trailer was dropped. And you know what? This is always an intriguing show. Who killed the Arconia doorman is going to be one of the queries this year. And I have a feeling that this will be equally as compelling as the previous 4 seasons. And why is it that it takes 2 old white guys to bring comedy back, and the DEI hire that was forced upon us? We've got Weapons prequel on the table. That's right, Zach Krager mulls the future. There's a lot out there, and he's the hot name, especially in horror. So I have a feeling that, we're going to get a lot more of things based on this premise. We got King of the Hill revival going rather well. In fact, covered rather well over on Bounding Into Comics and That Park Place. It's impossible to recreate the original animation style because tools don't exist anymore. Yeah, I've noticed that too. A lot of the stuff I used to use when I started doing this, they aren't out there anymore. And you can't get them anymore, which is silly and wrong. Freakier Friday becomes the latest Disney film to super suck, or in other words, underperform, at least according to Marvin Montanaro, the movie monster. This is a string of underachievers for Disney. It only had a couple of successful films in 2025, and those are actually not lifting up the box office high enough for anybody to care. Wednesday stormed back atop the Netflix weekly charts. Obviously, season 2, 3 years later, is going well. But can they keep doing that? Can they afford that? I don't know. I really don't know. South Park doubled down on Kristi Noem. They actually released an end credits scene that was featuring her on a shooting spree at a pet store. And what was surprising is there was a lot of alternate stuff that they cut out of that particular episode. You can go and find that, I believe, on Paramount Plus. We got Demi Lovato reuniting with the Jonas Brothers and performing camp rock songs. According to Demi, it was healing. She's glad to be back on stage and looks like glad to be, a possessor of a feminine figure once more. We've got Ewan McGregor not returning for season 2 of Ahsoka, despite all the rumors out there. And that's a good thing. He's already sullied his career enough with bad Star Wars. We need to remember him for good Star Wars. We've got AMC theaters about to trim their pre-show to just 4 or 5 minutes, or down from 15 minutes to by 4 or 5 minutes. Depends on how you heard it. And I've got to tell you, that's needed. We've got James Gunn Backlash. That's right. We're going to talk more about this story in a video later today, or maybe during bonus time. Warner Brothers does not find his antics pleasing. They find them annoying. This is a great story from Cosmic Book News. Trump's nominee to oversee jobs inflation data faces a shower of criticism. Yeah, by a bunch of whiny people that are probably on their way out the door anyway. We've got everything that you possibly could imagine happening in the stock rally on day 2 of big returns. Everybody's just hoping that Powell does the right thing for the first time for America. And as if interest rates drops, then, well, one of our other stories won't matter so much. But again, Wall Street climbs as worldwide rally comes back around for day 2. And we've got the U.S. national debt hitting a record $37 trillion. So I'm telling you right now, dropping the interest rates by, 3 cuts, which they should have already done, will fix some of the interest issues that we have with the national debt. Air Canada to begin canceling flights because they have a possible flight attendant strike coming up. Canada, I feel for you. You're in a bad position, and I don't think you're getting out anytime soon. We've got GE Appliances shifting more production to the U.S. as part of a $3 billion investment and a way to avoid tariffs. If anybody says tariffs aren't working, they're not paying attention, and it's working rather well. We're going to have probably $600 billion extra by the end of this year. And, if they apply that to the debt, I think we're going to be in good shape. And finally, there was a bear spotted recently opening a car door in Passaic County. And this is something that we should all be familiar with because it's happening all the time. Here is the video. Newscaster announcing this is what's going to happen. And it does. Bear car door. Bear. A lot of bear. I'm going to tell you, these little guys, they're good at opening car doors. So I would just warn you, secure your vehicles and be bear aware. That's today's bear story and bear warning. Bear witness to what a bear can do. That's right. We got so much going on, and I can't wait to acknowledge more folks and say thank you for the massive generosity that keeps the uh, the channel going, because it actually does, and you actually have a direct effect on this channel. PBS used to say that, you know, sponsored by you. Except, apparently it wasn't so much. I mean, the minute the Fed decides to stop funding them, I thought they had all these pledges, all these businesses, all these entities. Of course, that was before USAID was shut down and exposed for its money laundering. Was it possible that we were funding everything all along through NGOs and other baloney sausage? Is it true your local dentist office wasn't solely keeping PBS open for you? Hard to say. Hard to say. We got a lot of stuff to get through. I want to say thank you to Istaphobos. Hello. Uh, the Cartman bits were funny, but the humor is mostly recycled and lacking in cleverness that hallmarks their better stuff. Yeah, well, again, I don't know if their hearts, maybe their spirits were in it, but I'm not sure if their hearts were. I think that it was just I enjoyed it. Some people didn't. All of that is fine, but my goal is to laugh when I'm watching a comedy, and I did have some chuckles. Unlike almost everything else for the last several years, and certainly any late night show, with the exception of Gutfeld, I haven't had an opportunity to laugh. So when I get a chance, I'll take it. Want to say thank you to Michael Steele for the Canadian $5 in culture cash, saying in Canada, you need to watch for the geese and the moose. The bears are pretty chill. Yeah, well, they haven't been food habituated like they have in the States. And that's the big problem, why we're seeing more and more bear confrontations here in the States. Also, we've allowed the population to get out of control. And The encroachment on territory argument is silly at this point because it's not true. I want to say a super shout out and thank you to Hoove, who gifted a Culture Casino membership. We appreciate that so very muchly. It is very generous to keep us in members. In fact, if we got some more membership gifties, that would be very, very helpful. And it would be even more helpful if you guys watched all the new videos that have been dropping. Again, my goal has been to try to get like 3 or 4 videos a day out for you to consume and get a little bit less slanted and hyperbolic take on the news. But if you want hyperbole, I can do it. It's just, full of clips and other stuff. Hey, maybe that's what you want. I don't know. I always thought Ryan and I were different. I want to say thank you to Ruby Who for gifting another Culture Casino membership, and I hope you are out of the hospital, dear. I want you to be in the clear. I appreciate each and every one of you, and it's important to me that you're here every day. Man, I feel bad for Canada. You guys, you realize what's happening right now, that your industries are being stripped away. You're going to be paying extraordinary uh, fees for stuff coming out of China now. And that's the problem with tying yourself to the communists so deliberately. I know the previous prime minister was super, super CCP oriented, and makes sense because of who his actual father was. Looking very Castro there, bro. Um, it would be great if somebody actually had the DNA on that. That'd be super. I want to say thank you to Weatherman for a Culture Casino gifty over on YouTube. And I am scouting over on the green machine. Let's see. Oh, and Weatherman reminds you, lock your car door. The bear can't open the door. That's a true story. True story. So thank you to Weatherman for the gifty. And that one went to John Platt, one of our favorite pub participants. Let's see. Battle Bunny's been working hard in the chats everywhere. I want to say thank you to that. Chrisman Ghost. Blame Canada. That's right, Chrisman Ghost. Except I like Canada. I like my Canadians. Like Randall Orser. I mean, he's a Canadian from Canada, and one of our favorites. Little Castro says, crispy. That's right. Little Castro indeed. You guys got rid of him, but you replaced him with something worse. A multi global citizen butthead. Yeah. Carney, you guys, I know that there a lot of silly things were said by your state media, which should tell you something. Your state media wants you to vote for Carney. Bad choice. Put your elbows up and then, hang there from hooks, because the rest of the world is not going to go along, because the number one trading partner that, well, is regionally yours is the U.S. There's a 40% trade that you guys do with the states. That's a lot. And I can see the perspective of people feeling bullied, but at the same time, I mean, you're doing a lot of things that are outside the bounds of that, the Canadian, U.S., Mexico trade deal, that is basically thumbing their nose at the states. Not to mention the fact that, look, if I sell you, or if I sell milk for $1.14 a gallon, you should be selling it for the same or similar. You can have price differences for sure, but you shouldn't be charging a enormous tariff on milk coming north, or whatever it happens to be. I'm using milk as an example. It's the same issue with eggs and other things. There's going to be a lot of very expensive stuff that doesn't need to be. I feel very bad. I really feel like, had you had a better choice for prime minister, you wouldn't be probably going to get hit with another tariff on top of the 30% with it. Really, honestly, because of all the things that are under a different trade agreement, um, which could be canceled at any time. It's going to be renegotiated very quickly. Um, there's really only a 5% um, effective tariff rate, I guess, uh, after all the exchanges, but that's still ridiculous. I think we should be trading on a flat level. I don't understand. Okay, I don't understand why your government, the people that have been voted for by, I guess, the majority of you, I don't know, maybe a bunch of immigrants that you've allowed to come in and destroy everything that you fought for with, communist ideas and socialism. But you have you don't want to mine your own minerals, extract your own oil, sell it at favorable rates to very close trading partners. In fact, you thwart, block, and essentially destroy opportunity for trade at every turn. I don't get it. I really don't understand. Plus, you're still like pretending like the conquered people of your country should have an enormous say in your things, and you have to constantly acknowledge them, which is purely communist. That's neo-Marxist to the extreme. I don't get it. If one of you wants to explain it to me, I would love to know that. Truly. Dean Krantz says the problem with socialism, there are many, and communism is that eventually the government runs out of other people's money. Yes. And then you find out they killed or taxed all the talented people. Yes. Not to mention they're going to starve you to death. So enjoy that. And your free healthcare isn't free. Your taxes or somebody else's money pays for that. We could solve we could solve all these issues if we didn't invent systems to try to help out the people who are not helping themselves. There are going to be a certain portion of the population that are going to need help. That's accepted. And before the government took over that duty of, trying to, provide, the churches were there, and you had people doing it for free in a volunteer form and participating in food banks and things like that. The more government comes in and tries to do what the private sector does better, the worse the outcome is. And then it becomes a rapidly circling the drain fall that we can't afford. Anyway. And Davina says the right thing. Never trust a banker. Indeed. Chris Dickerson calls out the great great donut franchise, Timmy Hortons. Timmy Donuts. That's right. Timmy. Love donuts. Dukes and funerals. No, it's snakes and funerals. Dukes. What the heck? Hey, there's my friend. That's Lord Thoth. He's a Canadian. We love Lord Thoth. One of the longest times wrenches here. We got our pal Larry. Larry for 5 Culture Casino cash. Good to see you, buddy. Hey, Culture. Did you see Naked Gun? It was great. Some jokes were so stupid. I really loved it. Liam Neeson uh, was hilarious. I hope we get a sequel. Actually, they're looking at that already. Believe it or not, even though it's not made as much money as we would have hoped, Larry, they're looking at a sequel right now. The writers and producers, believe it or not, Seth MacFarlane was involved in that, and I'm not really liking him a lot. This is a man who says things that doesn't realize he's being an idiot when he says them. That's like 50% of his stuff right now. And the problem is that this guy let himself be talked into the rhetoric and the TDS that he has so often on display. He should realize that his own lean into the nonsense political garbage is the reason why comedy struggled so hard, and it's going to take a long time to get back. Captain Fandom Nerd, great to see you, my friend. It has been a minute. Eav says the video of Trudeau talking about how his bro died is wild. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't believe a word that man says. It's like listening to the Obamas about how their chef died in 6 foot or less of water on a paddleboard and was an enormously strong swimmer. I'm sure the gash in the back of his head can be explained by some other way other than it might have been there, not necessarily on accident. Salt Ed 1. Salted One. I like that. That's a cool name. Lovely avatar there. Yeah, I can't Google common sense. So these people have no idea. You're so accurately putting that, Weatherman. Well done. Zombo the Great says Shadow needs a comeback. We have Commander Ed Straker of Shadow here. So, you guys should probably talk. John, holy cow. John Wilhelm is out there saying, speaking of bear clips, how about some Kevin Apollo clips? Hey, I'm working on it. Kevin, you know what? It would be great, I think, to have like a Kevinism, like once a week, a Kevinism. I'll talk to him. That'd be great. Love Kevin Apollo. In fact, I think he and I are probably going to get together and do a bunch of videos next week. So stick around. Stick around. Leaves are brown. And the sky. Oh, at my local grocery store, they sell Canadian red peppers right next to American green peppers. There's a $1.25 markup. Yeah. Or you could just show up at my place and I'll let you into the greenhouse with the peppers and you can go to town because I got so much. The peppers are ridiculous between the hot peppers and the salad peppers. And of course, like the stuffing peppers, like you're talking about. I mean, I've got oodles, bazillions. Like we recently had to cull like 5 or 6 of the tomato plants, but that doesn't change the fact that I got tomatoes everywhere. It's insane. Grow your own food. Don't eat recycled food. The effect on the environment is non-existent. And the propaganda is extraordinary. Anyway. Hey, Caradwin. Good morning. Good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning. Good morning to you. Brian and Cindy, hello. Oh, wait. Nothing ever is free. No, that's true. Well, except for God. I think you're right. I think almost everything has a cost. well, unconditional love's hard to find unless you got a dog. I mean, you might get lucky, have a great relationship, have a boss. You know, it could happen. It could happen. Oh, Sherry, a mile alone. Anybody see the lovely Sherry recently? I miss her. I used to see her every morning. Da, da, ba, ba, da, ba, da. Just a Dutchie. Uh, Neeson should do more comedy. It suits him. Well, he did a great dark comedy with Sandra Bullock called Gun Shy. It's an older one, but if you go out there and find it, you'll find joy. It's pretty amazing. There's a lot of humor in it. And there are other uniquely funny people that don't get enough work. You should find that movie, Gun Shy. Liam Neeson, Sandra Bullock. Yeah, I know. Unlikely pairing, but well done. Meravita, you will never know. I blame Marvin, Culture Casino. I've been watching Trainwreck on Netflix, starting with Poop Cruise. There you go. By the way, that did extraordinary business, so much so for Netflix that it was on the top 10, like for 2 consecutive weeks. Well done on Netflix. You realize that when Megan met, uh, uh, what would you say when Megan met, um, self involvement, whatever the show is on Netflix of Megan and Harry. Um, it only could climb to 339 or 393 or something like that. It's like in the 300s, is as high as it could get relevantly through the first half of 2025, or in this case through August of 2025. Um, for as much money as that costs, they spend way too much on it and get very little in return. Caveat ties, you are not too late. You are on time to be here for bonus time. So there's that. Let's see. Juliet's out there. Look at all these great beings. Hey, Tony Piacente. Good morning, my friend. Says it should be called uncommon sense nowadays. Well, unfortunately, it's far too uncommon. But hey, everybody here, I believe, has some. True story. Some of my friends on the extreme left side of things are starting to come around. They just need to be able to get out from underneath the mainstream media induced TDS, because the rest of the world, they're truth people. They like truth. They like facts. They like, things that can be proven. They don't like the feelings brigade. And, well, I feel this. I don't care. This is the way things are. You can feel whatever you want. You can try to change things to align with your feelings, but you can't get away from the facts and the figures and the way that the world runs. You just can't. You can't. I'm sorry. Barry, what's up, Barry? Barry the Music Man. I go back to work in 2 Fridays. Well, I'm glad you're here. I hope you still get to tune in, Barry. It's been nice having you on the regular. Tobak, aloha, aloha. Aloha is hello and goodbye. Bada Bunny. I have 2 dogs. I love dogs. I want to have 5 dogs. 5. Yeah, when we relocate, I think that's one of the things is to go out and buy 5 dogs. Well, or adopt 5 dogs. They're going to all be different. I want all different dogs. That way, I don't. It's easy to remember their names. I'm getting older. I need that. Old dirty fatty. I like conditional love as long as the conditions are right, as well as the cost. Guten Tag. That's right. Good day. A little German for you there. Maravita says, I go back to work on the 25th and then should be here daily again. I won't oversleep anymore. Well, I understand that. I have people in the careers that do like are governed around the shift work that they do, which I think is amazing. It's lovely because, like, as a person who tried to spend as little time in the office as I could, um, out in the car, I'd be listening to podcasts, I'd be listening to YouTube videos and things all day long. Now I get to do that, like on today's like today, like when I'm headed to my doctor's appointment after the show. um, I'm going to be listening to other people's stuff, including Midnight's Edge in the Morning, which comes up after this show in about 45 minutes. So hopefully you don't miss it. It's good times. Tonight, you're not going to want to miss the WDW Pro Show live. That's right. You want to check that out as well. And don't forget, I dropped 7 videos. 7 videos in the last 48 hours. You want to watch them? You do. It helps me. It'll help you. You'll be more informed and you'll understand some of the hyperbole from some of the other creators who say things in a more aggressive and flowery way that maybe leaves out some of the facts or information from individual articles. I like information and I like to give you information, and I want to give you accurate information and not blown up information. Does that make sense? Anyway. Oh, let's see what's happening. Trying to catch up with you guys. I'm 3 minutes behind in the chat, guys. So if you're wondering, where's my conversation item? I don't know. TJ says TDS plus main character syndrome is a fatal combo. TJ, you are 1000% right, my friend. And we've got too many people who have that. It's happening far too frequently. And I'm hoping that people are waking up, especially now that, all of the bologna sausage around the first term from the Orange Man is being exposed, is driven by the lamestream media. One of the reasons they're collapsing is they've disconnected themselves from the ability to tell the truth, and from the politicians themselves. So there's that. Today, it looks like on the scoreboard, we have Larry leading the way along with Michael Steele, Just a Dutchie, and Kaladin 910. Those are the top 4. If you include Snorty, it's the top 5. And well done, folks. Well done indeed. I like this top fans board. Gives me a chance to call people out and say thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Again, I want to say a special thanks to the gifties that came in this morning. We had 3 of them, so we have 3 new members. Thank you for being here. Let's see who else is out there. Maravita has 1 cat who owns the whole house and all the people. Well, that's true. That's kind of cat logic, and that's, you know what? That's what cats are good for. I possess you. Well, thank you. You know what? That again, there's a reason the Egyptians kept cats, and it wasn't just snakes. So there you go. Asmodeus the Gargoyle says, "Culture, do you think Doomsday is going to be a flop?" Okay. This far out with the very limited information that I have, mind you, we just had 3 Marvel flops in a row. But this far out, let's be honest about it. I can't imagine a combination of storytelling items and a premise that ties it all together that will make this film what it needs to be. This film has to earn well over $1 billion just to break even. The reason being is because of how much money up front they're having to pay. Since the financial figures became available, essentially when the announcement was made that this film and a follow-up were coming, and how much they were going to cost Disney as far as the fee for the directors, the Russo brothers, and for RDJ. And then you're adding 50 more actors into the mix. You know how much the salary is going to have to be? I mean, you're looking at let's say on average $10 million an actor and you have 50. There's no way they're paying him that much, right? There's no way. There's no way they're paying him that much if there's going to be 50 actors. It's too much money. So in terms of financially, yeah, I think it'll be a flop, at least at this point, with what limited information we have. Do I think it'll resonate with an audience? Hard to say. I've seen more people walk away from Marvel. That was the comments today. If you go and you watch today's video, and then look at the comments, Deadpool's not going to save that movie. It'd be nice. We would know there'd be something funny in it, but Deadpool's not going to save the movie. I don't think there's anything that can save the movie. I think it's interesting that Disney's going on an apology tour, not an outright apology tour, but they're apologizing to the people that they wronged. Johnny Depp, key among them. Watch the video I dropped yesterday, late afternoon, evening. Disney's trying to get Johnny back. Disney wants Johnny back. I think everybody would want Johnny back. The guy is going to print money again. So we're going to get a Pirates follow-up. It's the only way it was going to happen. Margot Robbie and the girl power efforts were going to further seal Disney as something irrelevant because they've alienated the people who actually go to the movies. The guys. Unless you're making strictly for girls, the guys aren't super excited to see, gynocentric, the franchise, which is what they turned Marvel into, which is what they turned Star Wars into, which is what they've essentially turned everything into. Lilo and Stitch is gynocentric. So was Inside Out, gynocentric. Disney only understands or even wants to serve the she-economy. That's not been doing them any favors. Because eventually the guys feel alienated and left out. It's not helping. So, yeah. RDJ coming back as a stunt cast, Doom. I just don't see an upside here. And everybody hates the multiverse. They've acknowledged that everybody hates the multiverse going back to before Deadpool and Wolverine. Do you know why Deadpool and Wolverine worked? Because everything about it was dude. Even though they tried to insert too much female crap into it, it was dude. And they made the bad guy a female. Also cool. Be more effective if they do that more regularly. Anyway. But no, I think you're on the right track. I think it's more likely to flop than not. How about that? Because I have to hedge a little bit until I get more information. We don't even have a full complete script. They don't have a full complete script. They're rewriting the script. I think you're going to end up with a third or fourth writer on this. A fourth one is rumored to be coming to help. That's after the Waldron bologna sausage that I talk about in the video today. You got to go watch that video this morning. Anyway, back to real quick, just the comments I wanted to follow up with about the Comedy Central thing before I jump on the supers. And thank you to all of you incredibly generous people. I appreciate you so very much. I think comedy comeback for Comedy Central for, South Park. I think the fact that Kristi Noem recovered and turned her icon into the character that they saddled her with, I think that was a good recovery by her because her initial reaction was bad. Everybody just has to remember it's comedy. It's supposed to be funny. Take a joke. or take an attempt at a joke if you don't think it's funny. You know, a lot of people say some really dumb stuff. I'm always assuming they're joking because I don't want to assume they're stupid. I think you do people a service if you think they're trying to be funny and not making the assumption they're stupid. Although we're going to have to just start to accept that some people are just dumb. They've never been exposed to reality. They've never had a quote unquote reality check. And yet they're always complaining things are unfair. We got an amazing super chat once again from our friend Dean Krantz for 10 Culture Casino cash. Thank you, Dean. Sorry, it took me a minute to get to this, my friend. 7 minutes exactly. I am 2 weeks into recovery from total knee replacement. Yes, my man. I hope it's going well. I hope you get the recovery you need. That's a rough fight. 35 years since the original injury. Oh, I'm assuming this was military. Oh, it was. It took Trump's second term to get the VA to release the funds for that. That's why I've been away recently. Well, I am glad you're back. I'm glad you got your well-deserved and too long awaited recovery from serving your country, my friend. I want to tell you I appreciate you, and I guarantee you everybody else here does as well. The lovely Angela Richter. Hey, what's up, dear? Says for, a simple membership gift. Gifty. Hey, somebody joined, and Marcelo Lopez did. Thanks for joining us, Marcelo. Much appreciated. Wow, we are packed on the green side. Good job there on the rumbling, stumbling, bumbling. Appreciate y'all. The lovely and gracious Juliet drops a super duper chat for £2 sterling. This is proper money. This is why we appreciate our people across the pond, and we hope for a better government and freedom once more in a country that certainly deserves it. Juliet says, remember to like, subscribe, and share. That's right. Thank you, Juliet. That's a very generous way to encourage people to help out. Please help, as Lilo Dallas would say. All right. I'm trying to get back caught up with all the amazing people. Jill is still wrenching away, saying, gifty, gifty, gifty. That's right. Ram, bam, 3,000. That's right. Battle Bunny says it was about 1993. Canada was different then. Yeah, you were. Canada was. Well, I have to tell you this month, for as little time as I spent in Canada in the last 2 years, it's pretty. The parts I were at was pretty. Alaska was more pretty. It was also more cold and had more snow. Weird weather. Lasher, good morning, my friend. Dang Dean. Sorry you had to deal with that. That's right. Got to support Dean. Brian and Cindy are out of here. Have to get back to work. Thanks for being here, Brian and Cindy. We appreciate you. This is an observation that I haven't stated out loud, but it seems to be the summer of love. The stuff that this all started back in the late 60s, early 70s. The boomers did dumb stuff, treasonous stuff, and promoted violence. Here we are. Oh, no, we're doing nonviolent protests. Well, some people did, but then they didn't. Very strange. Slipknot fan, what's up, my friend? It has been a minute. By the way, speaking of the relevant ages of 1993, etc., for Canada, you have a country in complete unrest looking for a solution. You have 2, possibly 3 provinces that are ready to walk out the door. And all it would take would be a government like the United States to recognize you as your own state or your own city state. You guys could be like the Merchant of Venice in Civilization. You could be your own entity, a country, a city state, whatever. You could be your own thing. And I'm going to tell you, it's a good plan. It's the only way you're going to unburden yourself from the responsibility of supporting the rest of that country. And of course, all the communists that reside in one place in that state. You can actually go more towards a republic rather than a parliamentary style of government where you are losing things. I don't want you to lose things. I want you to gain things. I want you to grow. I want Saskatchewan to if we could have Saskatchewan as part of the United States, it'd be great. If we could have all three of those provinces bond together as one entity and join the states, not only would your resources be very welcome, it would be very easy to make you one of the wealthiest states in the United States in what inside of a decade, maybe sooner. Come on, I mean, why wouldn't you either want to be independent or part of the United States? I don't know. There's no good argument to stay with Canada because they certainly haven't taken care of you. And that's why 1993 is relevant. Um, I think if memory serves, and I'm not sure if it was 93 specifically, but you guys tried, some of you tried to break away, and you came like 50,000 votes short in total of actually busting up the quote unquote confederation or whatever you guys try to call yourselves. Um, you got to get out. You have no affiliation to England. I mean, right now you're being doubly suppressed if you decide that the UK is something you want to hold some kind of fealty to. Anyway, it is what it is. Wild stuff. Angela says leftism promotes violence because I love her. She's got no tiger picture. Anyway, sorry. Because deep down, where they can't hide anymore, they know it's impotent temper tantrums, so they lash out irrationally in everything. Well, I mean, I think the illustration of um, the broken argument was the temper tantrum where the folks from Texas fled to the most gerrymandered state on the planet, Illinois. California is going to try to do that. I think it's going to get shut down a lot because race-based gerrymandering is being looked at by the Supreme Court and will probably be decided by the end of the legislative quarter, or in their case, the judicial quarter. So it's possible. Um, One of the things that worries me, though, and is that like Roe versus Wade, the Supreme Court is going to turn back um, the marriage decision to the states. The only reason that this is an issue to anybody is because the government decided it wanted to be in control of marriage. It wanted to be an additional control to marriage. So I'm kind of worried about that because then we will not be able to exercise or maintain for marriage full faith and credit because the constitutional law requires that if one state recognizes something, another state has to, which is why the driver's license thing has been corrupted and needs to be decided by the Supreme Court as well. Um, and ultimately, it all comes down to um, if you're not a U.S. citizen, you don't possess any of the rights of U.S. citizens. And I think that's the crux of many of the decisions that the Supreme Court has been avoiding for multiple decades now. Anyway, it is what it is. Sorry, I didn't mean to conflate all those things together. I apologize. But they all are intertwined, is the problem. good friend Ram Bam 3000 drops 10 pounds sterling. Thank you, Ram Bam 3000, and says, da, 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 da. There's also a very good book, Days of Rage by Brian Burroughs, really, about the left wing violence of the 1970s and how it was supported by communists and their sympathizers in the establishment. Well, again, man, I'm going to say something that'll get me in trouble. You guys ready? Maybe McCarthy was right and didn't go far enough. You see the communism coming out with everything out of Hollywood, and the people in Hollywood are quite clearly commies. So, yeah, you realize that most people in Hollywood who are sane don't live in Hollywood or anywhere near it. Matthew McConaughey lives in Texas. Many people move outside of the crazy. I think technically Sydney Sweeney is still a Washington resident, I believe, not certain. Um, I just not that Washington's much better than California, but I mean, if she stays away from the city, she's fine. But yeah, that's actually spot on. Rambam 3000, spot on, my friend. Thank you for the super chat. Battle Bunny says, I talked to a young security guard at the hotel. He could not find a car to buy with air conditioning. What? His defense, it gets hot in the summer. It gets as high temperature in the 80s. Look, a conversation with somebody in the UK when it comes to temperature doesn't yield a positive end result, because the chances are they've not recognized that, Florida, people lived in Florida without AC, and it is ridiculous. The desert Southwest is in fuego, like cook an egg on a car hood. That actually can be done. If you go down into Miami in the summer and you have anything metal on your boat that faces the sun, you could probably do the same thing. That's hot. 78 degrees is not hot. 78 degrees Fahrenheit or whatever ridiculous C you call it, in centigrade or Celsius or whatnot. I don't even know what you guys use, but your numbers, and when you convert them to Fahrenheit, it's like, that's not hot. It might be uncomfortable, but it's not hot. I'm going to get raged at now by all my UK friends. It's true, though. Sack up. Anyway. It's just humor, folks. Just humor. Jill's just working hard. Jill and Ms. Pit Cafe are just working. Just working. Hey, the cat's here. So is Sonder Hammerschlag. Look at that. Look at all these amazing people. Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, he doesn't live in Hollywood. It's like there's a list of people. Like, you're like, oh, that person's rational, reasonable, and intelligent, thoughtful, has good common sense. See, there's that word again. Yeah. 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 Putin doesn't like it. Putin doesn't like my political rants. I'm sorry, Putin's. Good to see you, though. Good morning. Glad you woke up. I was missing you. Razor Fist has made the same argument. I imagine so. That guy is not a fan of communism. McCarthy only did one thing wrong. He stopped. Well, yeah. Again, if it weren't, he's actually the reason that they made the law that Gina was able to utilize to actually win. against Disney. And I know everybody's gonna be like, she didn't win. She settled. Well, that's a win. After 5 years, that's a win. Or is it 6 years now? Larry, thank you so much. Yeah, I have the best. I tell everybody I have the best chat on YouTube. I do, and I'll even and on. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna also say it on the Green Machine, right on Rumble. I have the best. I have the best group of humans that follow me on X. You should be following me on X if you're not. I promote and do a lot of things over there. But yeah, yeah, and I look, and here's the other thing that happened. We started to believe that a lot of the humanities stuff was important. Gender studies, give me a break. That's the underwater basket weaving degree of, people who have no real skill, right? Where are they going to end up at? Like some kind of a counseling job, these are going to be the what are they called? Social workers that are going to talk criminals out of shooting people in the head. Yeah, that's going to work out well. Well, we're going to need another gender studies person. Sorry. Man, I'm all over the place. It's fine. Superman is releasing on digital this Friday. Hey, wasn't that the leaked date that everybody says wasn't going to be the date, that it was going to be the 25th? You know who else said that, though? I think Tom, Paulie, and a group of other people are like, no, it's the 15th. Yeah, Istophobos is correct. HR is the other thing. If you have a gender studies degree, you're going to definitely be a star in HR because they want as many hacktivist weirdos as they can possibly get with blue and purple hair and all kinds of piercings in their face. That's your HR department these days, which tells you HR must not be that important, or you need an actual professional person to be HR, like a lawyer. I think that's the only people that should be HR or be qualified to be HR. I mean, you could have a degree in HR, but if you took any gender studies courses, I'm immediately disqualifying you. Because if you don't need the difference between a man and a woman, we have to have a talk. That's going to get me in trouble. All right, we got Weatherman out there dropping a dollar gifty, saying the following. Sydney Sweeney has a beach home in Florida. Yes. And a house near her father in northern Idaho culture. Wow. Huh. She's from Spokane, Washington, I believe, originally, and I thought she still had and or claimed a home there. Perhaps I'm wrong, and that's fine. But that's good to know. Sydney Sweeney is an all-American girl in all-American genes, making all Americans proud and all the communists whiny with their pierced faces and multicolor hair. And look, if you have piercings, that's fine. Doesn't bother me. And if you have, excessive tattoos, not that big of an issue unless you're tattooing your face. And the hair color, I mean, women have been dyeing their hair for thousands of years. They just try to keep it in the realm of reality. And I've actually seen some girls with blue hair that look good with blue hair. But then I see a politician with blue or purple hair, and I know they're a whack job. So there you go. Leaf. Are we talking reasonable celebrities? I was trying to. Wahlberg is one of them for sure. All right. Yeah, McConaughey's one. Like I said, most of them just get out of Hollywood. It's better. And then they can't keep track of you. There's not paparazzi following you around. In fact, if you're a celebrity complaining about paparazzi, get the flip far away from California. Move to Idaho. Move to Montana. They're going to leave you alone. There's no groups of shutterbugs up there trying to chase you around town and, create your own Princess Diana moment, Jared Markham asks a great question. Was the settlement and non apology the best thing that could happen because of the inflication uh I don't okay of activists of our justice system? No. The judge had already shown a predisposition to get through the trial and to get through discovery. There certainly could have been a press forward on all fronts for Gina and her attorneys. um they were going to try to stall it out as long as they could. Disney probably came forward with the best possible settlement that gave her everything her heart's desired plus more, because they need to go on an apology tour, like I was saying earlier in the stream, to bring back all the people they alienated that, everybody likes. Johnny Depp being one of them. Johnny Depp was treated so poorly by Disney and Warner Brothers, to be fair, that he he deserves not only to get the Pirates movie back. You can watch the video I dropped on that yesterday afternoon, evening. In fact, I encourage you to watch that one. But that looks like it's something that'll really happen. And if anybody can talk Johnny into that role, it's going to be Jerry Bruckheimer. Bruckheimer is probably the greatest producer of my lifetime. He played on both sides of entertainment in television and in film, and he was successful in the extreme in both categories. Um, his overwhelming positive character, his treatment of people, um, and his abilities uh, got him to the very top. Um, he's one of the people that will remind you that if you produce roughly 5 seasons of television, you could be set for life and buy yourself uh, a Gulfstream jet. So Bruckheimer was good. So I think Disney needs to bring back as many of the popular actors as they can, because it's the only way they're going to save themselves. They're trying to do all of this without actually having to say they were wrong in all of their extreme political views and machinations. Um, and I think the last bit of hubris that they will suffer the most for is actually what they're doing to the theme parks under the guidance of a lot of gender studies baloney sausages that they hired into the positions of like the story group and crap. Disney should pay for decades for this. And there's that. Wait a minute, Maravita says, I dye my hair crazy colors for my kids on my bus. Maravita, I'm not talking about you. And by the way, yeah, I'm talking about people who do it for a statement, Maravita. I should have been more clear. I certainly wasn't attacking you. I appreciate you in the extreme. I also appreciate Lester Skeptic Tank, my buddy, member for 17 months at High Rollers. Dude, thank you. Says, uh, itching to unwrap my Blu-ray of Tropic Thunder. It's so good. Got to stock up on inappropriate while supplies last. True story. The latter is lost on the minds of many when it comes to FOMO. With on-demand culture, FOMO is nearly 100% null. I know. This is the problem. We have a spoiled generation and a half now with on-demand. Um, it's not the best thing that's happened to us. It really isn't. Godzillionaires in the house. Holy cow. Says, get a degree like beard cultivation and management. Well, there you go. Yeah. Same thing. If I actually got a degree in that, it'd be wild. Now, a business degree could run a barbershop. Wait, some people are allergic to pen? I don't get it. Anyway, Maravita, I wasn't calling out the hair. I can understand it in your profession. So again, it's not a defining characteristic that you are proud to display because it calls out whatever your belief system is. So anyway. Maravita, you will never know. Hey, Carlos Alfredo Lopez. Good morning. And our friend Jared Markham says, just look what they did to Trump. Sure. And I feel like what happened to Gina was an outgrowth. Yeah. 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 And a small wave. Yeah. No, I understand. I can see that. I have a question. Let's step away from all of that. I'm going to name some movies. And these are the only ones I can think of that might be interesting through the rest of the year. Tron. That's it. Tron. I'm not looking forward to Avatar. Jay is. I understand. I mean, Drunk loves him some Avatar. Created an Avatar channel. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that probably. Anyway, but yeah, Avatar is not in that list. Is there anything else in the rest of the year? Okay, Nobody 2. Nobody 2. Nobody 2. Nobody 2. Tron. Nobody 2. That's it. I can't think of anything else that might be intriguing this year. And I don't think Tron's going to be the breakaway that they need it to be. I think Disney, since creating Tron, didn't know what to do with Tron. And we got Legacy that's more well known and appreciated for its soundtrack than some of its story elements, especially with the probably worst behaved female actress, director, person being in there as Girl Boss Power. They actually inserted Girl Boss Power into Tron. A lot of people don't see it. It's okay. But Tron Ares, maybe. It's weird they hired a cult leader for that, but it's fine. It's like hiring David Miscavige from Scientology. I don't know. Am I wrong? Do you guys see something else? Nobody 2. Tron. I don't see anything. I'm going to start reading your comments. I don't know. Weird. Bye, Georgia Peach. You're awesome. Have a great day. Count Alucard. Tron doesn't need any more sequels. Well, uh-oh. Tron Ares is a side story, which I don't know why they went that way and not stay in the main story. Wouldn't it have been better to have started from where they left off with the girl boss story that they left off from? Or are they trying to get away from girl boss? Don't know. We'll find out. Davina says, I don't think Tron Legacy was very good. I've had some other people I know and respect and appreciate say the same thing. Count Alucard comes back with nobody shouldn't have gotten a sequel. And that's the problem with Hollywood, maybe. They're relegated to sequels because they don't have any original thoughts. This is why I appreciate somebody like Nolan, right? He went back to a classic epic in Odyssey about Odysseus. The story is so well known that he shot one scene very much out of order that he could utilize as a teaser trailer. What, almost 2 years before, or at least a full year before the film was going to release? Because you already know what it is. And that's a cheap shot, by the way. I mean, there's half a dozen water tanks that you could go to do that shot that are just sitting there waiting to be used. Probably just cost him the time in the room. Anyway. Hampton says, Tron. Uh-oh. And nobody too. Well, thank you, Hampton. And great to see you, my friend. It's been a minute, or at least you haven't been chatting. Thanks for being here. Black Hole was such a wasted opportunity. I loved it. Sorry I had to yawn. But I loved it, but I was a kid. So Larry's excited and psyched for nobody too. Yeah, Jared Leto is definitely a lunatic. Kentucky Fried Brain. Predator Badlands. Leaf, I want to be there with you, but I have the unfortunate look forward. I'm less hyped than I was before. I'm just going to say it that way. D-Butt says, morning, what did I miss? Not that much. I mean, over an hour of stuff. But unfortunately, we got to wrap it because we have an important show coming up next. It's called Midnight's Edge in the Morning over there on Midnight's Edge. Our friends are going to cover just about everything in a very positive way. And as we reached 40K, I just want to remind you, I can't do this without you. So if you get a chance to go back, watch all 7 of the videos from this week so far, and might as well watch the 6-minute daily from the last couple of days. You have 10 different things to watch if you so choose. And while you're there, make a comment, hit the thumbs up button, and share what you can on the social media platforms that you partake in. Believe it or not, sharing is also a great way to share the stream, share the dream, and get more people here that you know and love and, or at least tolerate. On that note, I'll say I had a great day today. I hope you did too as well. And I'm making sure that you are properly redirected to Midnight's Edge in the Morning coming up next. You are definitely going to be talking about the King of the Hill and Alien Earth. And believe it or not, John Boyega's thoughts around Star Wars. As always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, Wilton's going to throw me off roof.
Why, hello there, random citizen.
Oh, hey there, little buddy. How's it going?
Have you subscribed to CultureCasino yet?
Well, no,
Friggin'
Oh!
These guys, I tell ya.
Oh!
Dang it, I missed. Why won't these guys just subscribe already?
That hurt.